The cops got lazy. When I was 16 I started selling weed. By the time I was 19 I was moving a significant amount of weed, at least in my eyes. At the time I was moving through about 75 pounds to 100 pounds a week. I was making great money, however I guess I had made someone upset. So one morning, I'm sleeping, it's about 5:30 a.m. and I hear a ton of yelling. I wake up and I'm sitting up in my bed as a man busts into my bedroom pointing a bright light at me. Turned out it was a rifle with a light attached. I was told to put my hands up. It was the cops. I had been busted. I was handcuffed and detained. They were nice enough to allow me to put on some clothes. As I was putting on my clothes a few thoughts went across my head. I figured my life was fucked. They found the shipment I had just brought in. The next day I going be dropping off some deliveries. They also found a lot of cash. Ironically they didn't find my guns, because I had literally just moved out of my parents' place and my guns were still at my parents' place. I was grateful for that. Well, I retained a lawyer, I was bailed out, and my lawyer start doing his work. Some time goes by and my lawyer calls me and says I need to come to his office. I rush over, he sounded excited. I get there, he hands me a piece of paper that was the search warrant for my address. At first I didn't notice anything odd, it seemed open and shut. Then he told me look at the address and quote. For some ungodly reason the cops had listed my parents' address as the address that was to be searched. The address wasn't even close, it was in another town. Somehow my parents' address ended up on the warrant, but the cops executed the warrant on my new address. Problem with for the state? The search was illegal, they executed the warrant on the wrong address. My lawyer was able to argue fruit of the poisonous tree. Every piece of evidence they found during their search was more than enough to get me locked up for a long time was thrown out. The case was dropped and I walked a free man. It did take some time to get my money back, they didn't want to give me any of that back. But they did. I remember I had a final sit down with my lawyer, and he told me I need to take this gift and turn my life around. He said without that typo I'd been looking at some significant time in prison, and that chances are since I'm known to the cops I likely will remain on their radar, so I need to keep my nose clean. So I did, I stopped dealing, got a job, started a career, and moved out of the area eventually.